G'day everybody, my name is Lowell and welcome to the channel. So we have a reaction video for us today. This one came across my feed and I thought this would be very interesting. The strange daily routine of oil rig crews you never knew about. Now, that might be a lot because I don't know anything about oil rig crews. I know they're in the oil rig in the middle of the ocean somewhere. But let's jump in. Let's have a look at this one.
Your alarm goes off at 11:30 p.m. You stockpile hundreds of energy drinks in the corner, and breakfast is at midnight for 14 days straight.
Okay.
This is the actual daily routine on an offshore oil rig. Not the machinery, not the danger. The rhythm of life when 200 people share a platform smaller than a football field.
200? Damn, I didn't know there was 200 people on there. Okay.
The rhythm of life when 200 people share a platform smaller than a football field, 200 miles from shore, where the clock runs backward, the kitchen never closes, and you never, ever wash your hard hat. As of November 2024, approximately 1,800 oil and gas rigs operate worldwide. Wow. A large offshore rig houses around 200 crew members at any given time, living and working on a structure roughly the size of 2 football fields, except it is vertical, with the drilling derrick towering 15 stories high and the living quarters stacked like apartment blocks welded to steel. The commonality is simple. Everyone lives on a 12-hour cycle with no weekends, no days off, and no escape until the helicopter comes. These rigs exist because the easy oil is gone. What remains sits beneath thousands of feet of water and then thousands more feet of rock. Today, drill ships operate in water depths exceeding 10,000 feet, chasing deposits that land-based rigs cannot reach. Global offshore rig utilization rates stood above 80% throughout 2023 and into 2024. The demand is relentless. Before the rig arrives, geologists use seismic imaging to map potential oil-bearing formations. Once a target is identified, engineers design the well plan, including how deep to drill, what diameter casing pipes to use, and where to set the blowout preventer. The drill string rotates the bit. Drilling fluid circulates down through the pipe, cools the bit, carries rock cuttings back to the surface, and provides hydrostatic pressure to counteract formation pressure. But none of that drilling happens unless the crew can function, and the crew can't function on a normal schedule. The rig anatomy runs from top to bottom. The derrick supports the drill string. Below it, the drill floor is where the crew operates the rotary table. Beneath the rig floor sits the blowout preventer, a stack of hydraulic rams weighing between 300 and 450 tons. It sits on the seafloor in deepwater operations, connected to the rig by a riser pipe. It can shear through the drill pipe and seal the well if formation pressure spikes unexpectedly. Floating rigs use dynamic positioning, computer-controlled thrusters that maintain position over the wellhead without anchors. A positioning error of just 30 feet can snap the riser. Drilling fluid weight must stay within a narrow window. Too light, and formation fluids can kick into the wellbore. Too heavy, and the fluid can fracture the rock. Mud engineers adjust density constantly based on pressure readings. All offshore workers complete basic offshore safety, induction, and emergency training, covering helicopter underwater escape training, firefighting techniques, and first aid. New rig workers
Man, I remember doing health and safety at work. I mean, if your health and safety includes escaping helicopters underwater, I wonder how much they get paid. They'd obviously have to be pretty well paid. That's crazy. It is crazy already. Okay.
Covering helicopter underwater escape training, firefighting techniques, and first aid. New rig workers undergo approximately 30 days of intensive hands-on training.
Wow.
All this hardware, all these procedures, but the actual rhythm of life offshore runs on something stranger. The shift structure is rigid. 12 hours on, 12 hours off every single day with no weekends. Most common rotation schedules in 2024 are 14 days on, followed by 14 days off, or 21 days on, followed by 21 days off. Here is the midnight shift. Workers wake at 11:30 p.m. the previous day to prepare gear. At midnight, they eat their first major meal while receiving shift instructions in the galley. The shift includes breaks at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., a second major meal at 6 a.m., personal time at 8 a.m., breaks at 10 a.m. and noon, a third major meal at 2 p.m., and shift end at 3:30 p.m. After that, workers have time to communicate with family on shore via satellite internet, socialize, work out, or prepare snacks in the always available kitchen. Why the inverted schedule? The midnight shift aligns meal times with circadian rhythms for the day crew while keeping operations running 24 hours. It is disorienting at first. Your body fights it for days, but eventually you stop thinking about what time it should be. Many workers stockpile hundreds of energy drinks in the corner of communal rooms. One Derek hand described consuming specific flavors like strawberry kiwi for entire shifts, treating the drink choice as part of the daily ritual. It's not about caffeine tolerance, it's about having one small constant you control. Superstitions are sacred. Workers traditionally avoid washing their hard hats for fear of bad luck. Discussing previous explosions or disasters at a rig site is taboo. Mentioning that a day will be easy is believed to jinx the shift. On some rigs, cherry pie is banned.
Oh.
Across the United States, many drillers will not put a drill bit into the hole without first spitting on it for luck. When women visit offshore rigs, which are still an overwhelmingly male environment, male crew members report going a bit silly. It's not malicious. It's the distraction of breaking the isolation. Offshore rigs serve 3 hot meals per day, plus snacks. A rig with 200 people serves 600 meals daily. Menus are designed by nutritionists and chefs. Modern offshore catering accommodates vegetarian, vegan, halal, kosher, gluten-free, and allergen-free options. Some rigs have themed meal days, including Junk Food Monday, Taco Tuesday, Barbecue Wednesday, and Seafood Friday. Crew members typically share 2-person cabins. Newer units have 2 twin beds with private or shared bathrooms. Cabins are soundproof and equipped with entertainment systems, televisions, and internet access. Modern rigs include fully equipped gyms, cinemas, game rooms with pool tables, saunas, and internet cafes. Helicopters are the primary mode of crew transport. Common models include the Sikorsky S-92, with capacity up to 19 passengers. Crew changes are expensive operations. Helicopter lease rates for Sikorsky S-92. Aircraft range from $100,000 to $115,000 per month. All of this, the food, the gym, the internet, exists because retention is expensive and losing experienced crew is worse. Day rates for offshore rigs vary by type. Semi-submersible rigs command rates between $150,000 and $400,000 per day. Drill ships operating in ultra-deep water can exceed $500,000 per day. Jack-up rigs in shallow water typically range from $80,000 to $150,000 per day. A single day of unplanned downtime can cost the operator the full day rate plus the cost of idle crew, helicopter transport, and supply vessels. For a deepwater rig at $400,000 per day, that is equivalent to the annual budget of a small-town public works department, gone in 24 hours. Wages. In 2024, averaged approximately $26.57 per hour for oil rig workers in the United States. Annual salaries range from approximately $40,000 for entry-level roustabouts to $250,000 for senior tool pushers and rig managers.
$26 an hour? That doesn't seem enough. Surely.
Entry-level roustabouts to $250,000 for senior tool pushers and rig managers.
Okay.
In 2025, 61% of hiring managers in the oil and gas industry reported offering pay raises. 50% of oilfield workers reported earning more in 2024 than the previous year.
Okay.
3 myths need flipping. Myth 1. Oil rig workers live in cramped, uncomfortable conditions. Reality. Modern offshore rigs feature soundproof cabins with entertainment systems, private or semi-private bathrooms, gyms, cinemas, and internet access. The accommodations on a 2024 rig rival mid-range hotels, not prison cells. Myth 2. Food on oil rigs is poor quality. Reality. Offshore catering companies employ professional chefs who prepare fresh, nutritious meals 3 times daily with diverse menu options and accommodations for dietary restrictions. Myth 3. The hardest part of rig life is the physical danger. Reality. Workers consistently report that isolation, missing family events, and the mental grind of the repetitive 12-hour schedule are harder than the actual work. The physical job is demanding, but it is predictable. The psychological toll of knowing you will miss your kid's birthday, your anniversary, and every weekend for 2 weeks straight. That is what breaks people. So, your alarm goes off at 11:30 p.m. You stockpile energy drinks because it is the one thing you control. Breakfast is at midnight because the rig never stops, and neither does the shift rotation. The strange daily routine is not an accident. It is engineered to keep 200 people functional, fed, and sane while living on a steel island that costs $400,000 a day to operate and where a single mistake can kill everyone on board. The hardest part is not the machinery or the danger. It is knowing that for the next 14 days, this inverted, repetitive, isolated rhythm is your entire world, and then you go home and you do it again in 2 weeks. That is the routine they never tell you about. If you want more deep dives like this into the machinery, the money, and the people behind industries you never think about, subscribe. Tell me in the comments which part of rig life you would struggle with most: the midnight meals, the isolation, or never washing your hard hat for 14 days straight.
I've never really kind of thought, you just think of rig workers, they're out there, and as you said, cramped little, I think probably comes down to how they're, I've never really, I think Mark Wahlberg had a movie about rig workers. I think that's the only movie I've ever seen it in. Maybe there was something with Superman as well too, I think. But you always think, cramped work. I mean, it doesn't look very big. It's not a very big platform. Everybody's kind of cramped. I didn't know there was 200 people in there. But I guess when you think about it, to run everything, it would take a lot. Even just the catering staff is going to be quite a number of people. But $400,000 a day to get it running, paying all the wages and whatever else, machinery. Downtime is obviously very, very expensive, so they want everybody working, to the best of their abilities. But the night shift and stuff like that probably wouldn't worry you. You just get down, and it's kind of like fly in, fly out, mine working and stuff like that. You get used to it and whatever, but that isolation would be difficult as well too. So yeah, I've never really thought about what goes into, running an oil rig, but the gym and the cinema and the meals and everything else. I mean, if you can get on it, $26 an hour though. I didn't know. I thought it was more than that. So $26 an hour. I thought it was more than that. This is not a very old video either. This is only a couple of months. So if you know how much it is now, let me know in the comment section. So, but that was very interesting. I've never really kind of thought about the inner workings of an oil rig. But very interesting. Very interesting. How they actually, I should actually get a video about how they actually set up an oil rig as well. How they do the platforms and how they deep sea and how they get it. It's very, very complicated, I'm assuming. So that would be an interesting one to do as well. So let me know if you enjoyed this one, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. Make sure you stay safe, and I will definitely see you in the next reaction video.